Have you ever found yourself staring at your phone at 2 a.m., thumb hovering over a message you know you should not send? You are not alone. Right now, somewhere around the world, there are thousands of people doing exactly what you are doing. Lying awake, replaying conversations in their head, wondering if they made the biggest mistake of their life by staying silent, wondering if that silence is slowly killing any chance they ever had of getting back what they lost. And here is what nobody's telling you. That silence you are keeping, it might be the most powerful thing you have ever done in your entire life, but you do not believe that right now. I know you do not. Because right now, you feel invisible, you feel forgotten, you feel like every single day that passes without a word from them is another day where they move further and further away from you, and that feeling is eating you alive. Let me ask you something. When you stopped reaching out, did the silence feel like freedom? Or did it feel like you were slowly suffocating? For most of you, it feels like suffocating. And that is exactly why you are still suffering. Not because no contact is hurting your chances, but because you have been told the wrong things about how it works. You have been given vague advice. Stay strong. Give them space. Work on yourself. And none of that has helped you. None of that has answered the question burning inside you every single second of every single day. How long do I have to wait? How long before they feel what I feel? How long before they come back? How long before this pain finally stops? You need a number. You need a timeline. You need to know that this nightmare has an ending. And today, I am going to give you something nobody else has given you before. I am going to show you exactly how long no contact takes to break an avoidant. Not with vague hope, not with empty promises, with a system, a timeline, a rule that is backed by psychology, by neuroscience, and by the real experiences of people who have walked this exact path before you. And if you stay with me until the very end of this video, you will walk away with something priceless. You will understand why the people who succeed in getting their ex back are the ones who never gave up too early. You will understand the exact moment when the psychology shifts in your favor. And you will understand why everything you have been doing up until now might have been resetting the clock instead of moving it forward. This is not another generic advice video. This is a complete breakdown of the 11-week rule. 11 weeks. That is the exact amount of time it takes for an avoidant brain to process loss, reevaluate their decision, and start reaching back toward you. 11 weeks. That is less than 3 months. That is less than one season of your favorite show. That is a small price to pay for the possibility of getting everything you lost back into your life. But here is what you need to understand first. This is not about manipulation. This is not about playing games. This is about respecting the way human psychology works. This is about giving someone the space their brain needs to actually miss you. Not just say they miss you, but to genuinely feel the loss of you in a way that changes their behavior permanently. Most people cannot handle that. Most people break on day 3. They break on day 7. They break when their ex posts something on social media. They break when a mutual friend says something. And every time they break, they reset the clock back to 0. Do not be most people. You are here because you are different. You are here because somewhere deep inside, you still believe this story does not have to end this way. And you are right, it does not have to end this way. But it only ends the way you want it to if you understand what you are doing and why you are doing it. So here is my promise to you. By the time this video is over, you will have a complete understanding of the 11-week rule. You will know exactly what is happening inside your ex's mind during each phase. You will know exactly what mistakes to avoid. And you will know exactly how to keep your own mind strong enough to make it through. That is the reward for watching until the end. Knowledge, power, and a clear path forward when right now you feel completely lost. Now let me ask you one more time. Are you ready to stop guessing and start knowing exactly what it takes to break an avoidant? Then keep watching. Because what I am about to share with you might change everything. You clicked on this video because something inside you refuses to give up, and that is one of the most human things you could ever feel. Right now, you are carrying a weight that nobody else can see. On the outside, you look fine. You go to work, you eat your meals, you smile at people when you have to, but on the inside, something inside you feels shattered, and that feeling has been living in your chest for weeks, maybe months, and it is not going anywhere. Let me tell you what that weight feels like. It feels like walking into a room and forgetting why you walked in. except the room is your entire life, and the reason you forgot is because a person shaped your entire world, and now that person is gone. It feels like reaching for your phone and then stopping, like your hand moves on its own, and then your brain catches up and pulls it back. And that little moment of hesitation happens dozens of times every single day. And every single time, it hurts a little bit more. It feels like you are waiting for something that may never come, and you do not even know if you want it to come anymore. Because part of you is scared that if they did reach out, you would not know what to say. You would not know how to act. You would not know if you could trust them again. But another part of you, the part that has been holding on since the very beginning, would take them back in a heartbeat. No questions asked, no conditions attached. That conflict is destroying you. And here is what makes it even harder. You cannot talk about it, not really, because who would understand? Your friends are tired of hearing about it. Your family thinks you should move on, and every time you try to explain what you are going through, you end up sounding like someone who cannot let go, like someone who does not have any self-respect, like someone who deserves to be hurt. But that is not who you are. You are someone who loved deeply. You are someone who gave your heart to another person and expected them to hold it carefully. And when they did not, when they pulled away and disappeared, something inside you broke. Not because you are weak, but because you are built to connect. You are built to care. You are built to love with everything you have. That is not a flaw. That is a gift. And the fact that you are still here, still fighting, still hoping, proves exactly what kind of person you are. You are not someone who gives up easily. You are not someone who walks away from people they love. You are someone who believes that love is worth fighting for, even when it costs you everything. But here is what you need to understand. The pain you are feeling right now is not unique to you. It is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that you are human. And every single person who has ever loved another person has felt exactly what you are feeling. There is not a single person watching this video who has not stared at their phone hoping for a message that did not come. There is not a single person who has not replayed a conversation in their head trying to figure out where everything went wrong. There is not a single person who has not asked themselves 1,000 times, what if I had done something differently? What if I had said the right thing? What if I had fought harder? You are not alone in that room of doubt. You have never been alone. And that is exactly why this video exists. Because I know what you are going through. I know how it feels to want someone back so badly that you cannot breathe sometimes. I know how it feels to wake up in the middle of the night with your heart pounding because you dreamed about them, and the dream was so real that for a second you forgot they were gone. I know how it feels to wonder if they ever think about you, if they ever miss you, if they ever lie awake at night wishing things had turned out differently. And if you are watching this, you know that feeling too. You have been carrying it for so long that it feels like part of you now, like you cannot remember what it felt like before the pain existed, before the silence became your new normal. But here is what I need you to understand. That pain you are feeling, it is not your enemy. It is proof that you loved with your whole heart. It is proof that you are capable of something real. And it is proof that what you lost was not just another relationship. It was something that mattered. Now let me show you why that pain is also the reason you still have a chance. Because the very thing that is breaking you down right now is the same thing that is going to build you back up. You just have to understand how it works, and you have to trust that it does work. That is what the next section is about. Understanding the person you are fighting for. Understanding why they do what they do. And understanding why the silence you are keeping might be the loudest thing you have ever done. Keep watching, because everything is about to make sense. So let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to win someone back by chasing them? Maybe you sent them a long message explaining how much you still cared. Maybe you showed up at places where you knew they would be. Maybe you called them when you were drunk and told them everything you had been holding back. Maybe you posted things on social media designed to make them jealous or make them miss you. And what happened? Nothing changed. Or worse, things got worse. They pulled further away. They stopped responding altogether. They started to seem like they could not care less about whether you existed or not. And the more you tried to reach them, the more they seemed to disappear into a world where you did not matter anymore. And you sat there wondering, what did I do wrong? Here is the brutal truth that nobody wants to tell you. You did not do anything wrong exactly, but you did everything wrong at the wrong time. And the difference between those two things is everything. See, your instincts are not stupid. When you love someone and they start pulling away, your brain immediately kicks into problem-solving mode. You think, if I can just reach them, if I can just make them understand, if I can just show them how much I still care, they will remember why they fell in love with me in the first place. And you chase, you fight, you do everything in your power to close the distance. But that approach works against everything I am about to teach you today. And I know that sounds confusing. I know part of you is saying, but I love them. How could loving them be wrong? How could fighting for someone be the wrong move? That does not make sense. And you are right. It does not make sense. Not at first. That is why most people fail at this, because they are using love as their guide when they should be using psychology. Think about it this way. When someone pushes you away, what is the first thing your brain assumes? It assumes you did something wrong. It assumes if you could just fix whatever you broke, they would come back. So you scramble to fix things. You apologize. You over-explain. You try to prove yourself, and none of it works. Because here is what you are missing. The person who pushed you away is not pushing you away because you are not good enough. They are pushing you away because something inside them feels trapped. They are pushing you away because being close to you feels like losing themselves. And the harder you chase, the more trapped they feel and the further they run. You are not fixing the problem. You are making the problem worse. And I know that is hard to hear. I know you have probably spent weeks or months chasing them in every way you know how. I know you have probably replayed every conversation trying to find the one thing you said that made everything fall apart. And I know you have probably thought, if I could just find the right words, I could bring them back. But that is not how this works. This is not about finding the right words. This is not about being good enough. This is not about proving your love so loudly that they finally hear it. This is about understanding a system, a process, a set of psychological principles that do not care about your feelings or your intentions or how much you love them. These principles work whether you believe in them or not, whether you understand them or not, whether you like them or not. And once you understand them, you will never approach this situation the same way again. The truth nobody tells you is that your ex is not thinking about you the way you are thinking about them. Your brain is running on love and memory and hope. Their brain is running on something completely different. They are running on a survival mechanism that was built into them long before they ever met you. And that mechanism does not care about your pain. It does not care about how much you miss them. It only cares about one thing, creating distance, until it does not. Until the distance gets so big that the brain starts to wonder if it made a mistake. Until the silence becomes loud enough that it forces a reevaluation. Until the absence of you starts to feel like a loss instead of a relief. That is when things change. And the only way to get to that moment is to stop doing what you have been doing. Stop chasing. Stop explaining. Stop proving. Stop trying to solve a problem that cannot be solved by force. The 11-week rule exists because of this truth, because your ex needs time, not because they do not care, but because something inside them needs to go through a process before they can come back to you in a healthy way. And the worst thing you can do right now is interrupt that process by reaching out before they are ready. I know how hard that sounds. I know you want to fight for them right now, today, this very second. But if you keep fighting the way you have been fighting, you are going to lose them forever. The next section is going to change everything for you, because I am going to introduce you to the person you have been trying to win back. And once you understand them, everything else will finally make sense. Keep watching. You are closer to the answer than you think. Now that you understand why chasing makes everything worse, let me introduce you to the person you have been trying to reach. In the last section, I mentioned that your ex is running on something called a survival mechanism, and I need you to really understand what that means, because once it clicks for you, you will never look at their behavior the same way again. Your ex has what psychologists call an avoidant attachment style, and if you have been wondering why they seem to pull away right when things felt the closest, why they seem to run the moment things got real, why they could never fully commit even when they said they wanted to, this is the answer. This is the explanation you have been searching for. See, most people in this world operate from what is called a secure attachment style. They can love deeply. They can be close to someone without feeling trapped. They can handle intimacy without running from it. When something goes wrong in a relationship, they do not panic. They talk. They work through it. They trust that love is strong enough to survive hard things. But your ex is not most people. Your ex operates from a different system entirely. And it is not because they do not love you. It is not because they do not want to be close to you. It is because something in their brain has been conditioned to treat closeness like a threat. Think about that for a second. When you got too close, they did not feel safe. When things felt too good, some part of them started looking for the exit. When you needed them to be vulnerable, they shut down. And you probably thought it was about you. You probably thought, if I had been more patient, less needy, more independent, they would not have pulled away. But that was never the real issue. The real issue is that your ex learned something very early in life. They learned that depending on people is dangerous. They learned that love comes with conditions. They learned that when you let someone all the way in, they can leave. And the pain of that leaving is unbearable. So they built walls, not because they do not want connection, but because connection feels unsafe to them. And the deeper you tried to go, the higher those walls went. This is what makes avoidant attachment so confusing for people who do not have it, because you see someone who says they love you, but then acts like they do not. You see someone who starts fights out of nowhere. You see someone who disappears when things get good, and you think, they do not actually love me. They are just playing with me. But they are not playing with you. They are protecting themselves. And here's the part that will change everything for you. When an avoidant person feels that familiar panic kick in, when they start to feel too close to someone, their automatic response is to create distance. They do not think about it. They do not decide to do it. It just happens, like a reflex, like a muscle memory that was installed in them before they even knew what love was. So they pull away, they go cold, they start picking fights about things that do not matter. They stop texting as much. They stop making time for you. And you, on the other side, start panicking. You start chasing. You start trying to fix things. You start asking what you did wrong. And that is exactly what makes them run faster, because your chasing confirms their worst fear. It confirms that people are clingy, that people need too much, that people will smother you if you let them. And so they pull harder and you chase harder, and eventually they convince themselves that leaving was the right call. Not because they stopped loving you, but because your panic made them feel like they were right to be afraid of closeness all along. This is the trap that most people fall into. They chase because they think love should not have to be this hard. They chase because they do not understand what they are actually fighting against. They chase because they think if they just try hard enough, they can break through. But you cannot break through an avoidant wall by pushing against it. The only way to break through is to let them come to you, on their own, when their own brain tells them it is safe. That is what no contact does. No contact removes the pressure. No contact proves that you are not like everyone else who came before. No contact gives their brain the space it needs to actually miss you instead of fear you. And that is exactly what the next section is going to break down. Because understanding that your ex is avoidant is only half the battle. The other half is understanding why no contact is the only thing that actually works on an avoidant brain. Keep watching, because everything is about to become clear, about to